When you resonate, you're creating a deep emotional bond with the audience. There are certain times where I think people talk too broadly in the podcast episode that they have, where they should be speaking directly to the person that is paying attention, that is listening and consuming that content. Because it shouldn't, in my opinion, be specifically about the content itself and just getting the content out there, but should emotionally move the audience. And understanding who you're speaking to and how they like to be spoken to, the topics and the issues and the problems and concerns and all the things that they think about. If you can speak directly to them like you're talking to a friend, you're going to connect with them and ultimately resonate with them at a much deeper level than just talking from some broad perspective of these things and that thing and how about these types of people and blah, 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 blah. If I can speak directly to you, where I can help you grow your podcast, that's what I want to do. This is me resonating with you. So think about from the perspective of the podcast episodes that you have. Let's just look at a solo episode for a second. If you know in my solo episode, I want to talk about this topic. Now, different people will get into different ways to be able to create those topics and create the content specifically for the solo episode. Let's just say you've done whatever you've done in that sense. You are as prepared as you feel you can be. You're going to go into that conversation. And some people will forget that they're talking to the camera like it's a human. And they'll just kind of talk ethereally and like about these different things and wander off. And, you know, when I think of this, I think of that. And then this thing happens and that. And it's almost like you're having a conversation all by yourself just in a room, which in reality is kind of the case. But for you to actually speak directly to the audience, I want you to be able to think about the camera as the ideal audience member, the person who absolutely cherishes your podcast and the content that you put out. So from a solo episode, you can connect deeply by feeling that you're speaking directly to that person. A little bit of caveat to that is you need to know who that ideal audience member is. If you haven't figured that out, feel free to reach out. I've got some different resources, and that's one of the things I help people with. And if you know exactly who this ideal audience member is, the ideal avatar, if you know these conversations are had by these people and I like to speak about these specific things, then speak directly to those people. But pick a person and speak directly to that person. For my show, the Mindset and Self-Mastery Show, my 3 core topic buckets that I speak about are mindset, self-mastery, and transformation. So I know whenever I'm having a conversation, it's going to be about one of those major categories. And I know who my ideal audience member is. I know what they listen for. I know what they look for. I know because when I started, I was that person. And it can be easy for podcasts specifically to be able to start down this path and figure out how they can resonate with their ideal audience. Because for the most part, most people start their podcast based on them being the ideal audience member. They're trying to have that conversation. They want to be able to have the conversation. They want to learn about the thing, so they start the podcast. That may be a similar case for you. And if it's not, then figuring out who the ideal audience member is still going to be the smart move, because then that's who you're talking to. So with the podcast, if you're speaking on a topic, speak on the topic like you would be speaking directly to that ideal audience member. And the more that you can be authentic and just yourself, that's what I mean by the authentic side. Not authenticity as a buzzword, just be you and have that conversation with those people.